Hello, Raising a Mogul family. Okay, listen, so I haven't done no corny songs in a little while, so I'm going to do it. It's a beautiful day in Ram neighborhood. A beautiful day for Ram neighbors. Won't you be mine? Would you be mine? Will you be my Ram neighbor? Hello, darling. Listen, I know I can't sing, and as you can see, I ain't shame either. Don't care, not one bit. I am grateful to be alive, grateful to be here on this beautiful hump day, darling. So I am here. This is LaShawn Spivey Angeletti, the Dream Cultivator, and I am excited to be here with some nuggets, some communication nuggets for you and your amazing family. So, as you can see, listen, I'm excited. I got on my yeah, what y'all know about that? What y'all know about that CEO life? What you know about that Ram Fam CEO life? Okay, so I'm feeling myself. I had to put on my Ram jacket today and be excited about my mogul jacket for this lesson. Listen, we are going to talk about the scary truth about arguing. So come on in, have a seat, all right? The scary truth about arguing. LaShawn, don't nobody want to hear that. Yes, you do. I promise you. We are on countdown to the holidays. The summer has been behind us. We are comfortably into fall now. Depending on where you are on this beautiful planet, your weather might be crisp. It might be, fall leaves. And depending on where you are, I know for sunny Southern California, we have some fun weather right now. It's 70 in the daytime, a little crisp and cold at night. But listen, today is about arguing. We are on countdown to some shift happening in our families, in our businesses, in our world. And guess what? What doesn't change is that we have disagreements. We're human beings. We have disagreements. And what does it look like when we disagree? Well, in our family, most of the time, we get told, excuse me about that if it goes in and out. Hey, lady. We get told you do not argue with the mom and the daddy. You do not talk back. Don't say a word. Y'all know how that goes. I'm sure you don't let your mogul just run it all sideways at the mouth. Some people have a little bit more liberty than other, but what does it really look like to argue? So I want to pull apart what that means, all right? And let me show you the difference because let me tell you something. This is a part of natural behavior. We're human beings. So there's business in your argument. Did you know that your argument can make or break your money? Let's talk about it, all right? So the scary truth about arguing is that arguing can be good for you. This is the scary part, but only if you know how to use it properly. And let me tell you why. I'm sure you want, LaShawn, what are you talking about? Let me tell you, listen, I'm all about cultivating that dream. But you need to understand, we have abused the word argue. Our society has abused what the definition of the word argue means. So let's revisit so you can see yourself, your mogul, and even business a little differently. The term to argue, hey lady, your kids love to argue with you. And some people will be offended by that, Teacher Terry. They would be mad. Like, what you mean your kid is arguing? Because people we have abused what it means. We assume it means to disrespect. So let's get into it. But I know you're a wordsmith, darling, so you already know. To give reason, this is the first definition when you pull up of argue. To give reason or cite evidence in support of an idea, action, or theory, typically with the aim of persuading others to share one's view. So the word argument, where it came from, is not a fight. It is not a brawl. It is not a disrespect. It is a positioning to be able to cite the evidence, to be able to prove why something is better or a better option or what have you. And a lot of times we get offended when our young people bring information to us because their delivery may be off. It may not be that their facts are off, but maybe they came at you a little bit, the tongue was a little slick. I said I didn't like that. That'll get you snatched up at my house for sure. But if the delivery is on point, so sometimes it's not that we're trying to correct the argument, we need to correct our communication strategy, all right? That's why we're talking about the scary truth about it. The scary truth about arguing is that is really good for us sometimes. Matter of fact, 2/3 of the time it's good for us. So here we go. In the area of citing something, this is why it's good for you. For our court system, watch this. We have judges and juries. We know all the different roles that everybody plays. What does the defense attorney and even the prosecuting attorney, what do? They defend their claim with an argument. They sit and they reason and they give information. They have to prove it. It's in an orderly fashion. Whether it's right or wrong is depending on the case. However, the argument, what's being presented is facts, is cited, and they bring evidence. This is how we should teach our children how to communicate. Whether it's at home with us, with each other as peers, as siblings, as peers in the classroom, and especially with adults, because they should have a voice. It's just that their argument should come from a strong position of being comfortable with who they are, their delivery be responsible and respectful, and they be able to cite evidence and back their argument. Here we go. It also models how to communicate with friends, how to disagree, all right? Arguments are extremely important. Absolutely. Absolutely. It also we allow the team to speak their mind. So watch this. We end up with our kids as teenagers, preteens. Woo-wee. This is the argumentative stage because they are challenging everything. But why? I don't understand. Most of the time, it's the way they're delivering information that makes parents say, no, stop, wait, what's going on? And sometimes when we decide that they are teenagers, so we give them that freedom to argue, and they deliver in a manner that is disrespectful, guess what? Now we allowed our child to master delivering their argument in a negative way, so they take that same connotation into the real world, and they have a hard time getting the college classes that they want, getting somebody to side with them, getting somebody to invest in their whatever the idea is, or even to move their brand forward. Why? Because we didn't work on the communication style. So I encourage you, instead of looking at it from the position of your child is arguing with you, maybe their delivery is off. And maybe you guys need to cultivate that. Let me show you one way that you can do that. You love that communication is key. Absolutely. So one way that you can do that, and I've said it before, y'all, I don't think drama is just for the stage. Drama is for the house too. Role play the argument. Talk about it. Take yourself out of it. Take the feelings out of it. Use it as bystanders. You can present it and have an argument where you defend it. You talk about it like a court case. Whatever you have to do. Do something in a positive way to deliver the negative message. The discrepancy, not negative, but whatever the argument is, deliver it in a style that takes your feelings out of it. Role play or do something else so that now you have a safe space to give this information, to go back and forth with it, to make a decision about it, and to walk away happy and whole, comfortable with your relationship. That's how we cultivate them in understanding how they argue in the adult world, all right? Because even though they're young doesn't mean that they are not out here negotiating. Y'all know they are. We all here raising moguls. We want them to be able to thrive everywhere. So we have to make sure that they can comfortably present something in a respectful and honorable way with us, as well as with their peers, with other people, with their love mates one day, or now. You might have a dating kid already. They need to be able to do that. And that can be done in an argument in a healthy way. The second way that's good is when we can do this. The definition, I'm starting with the definitions, y'all. To persuade someone to do or not to do something by giving reason. How many times we do that? Honey, when they ask you for something, they give their reasons. They have their defense automatically. It's human nature. It's world knowledge. We've learned, our society has cultivated us to understand if we want something, we need to be able to say what we want and present why. We answer the why even before we learn how to spell why. Mommy, can I have a cookie because I ate my vegetables? That's a 2-year-old talking. They already know how to give a persuasive argument. Why not master those skills by taking them to the next level, making sure that you stretch their vernacular, their vocabulary even, their delivery, how they emphasize, how they make eye contact. All of those things can be structured in a positive way when they're learning how to give a persuasive argument. Listen, we bosses. This is your pitch, boo. If you cannot persuade me to buy your cake, to buy your detergent, to buy your body soap, I don't know that there's a need. That's why we ask the why. We answer the why in our business, don't we? We hit the pain point for our client, don't we? We find out who our avatar is and we speak to their need, don't we? That's an argument. all. All right, this is the healthy way to argue, y'all. Another thing, when people go door to door, think about how they have to prepare themselves to come stand at your door and solicit cable. Honey, that is not an easy notion, but they have to be persuasive. They have to be able to meet what your needs are, know enough about what they're doing and what you may need in your house. They assume that based on the community size, the size of your house, how many cars are in the driveway, how many neighbors use your service, how much service they use. All of that information is researched and done. Why not teach those type of skills to our children in communication styles so that they can argue their points in a persuasive way that deliver what they want and it work in a positive manner and they get it. All right. The last one, and let me give you is an example. A persuasive argument that I saw go good. I'm sure you have a million of them. I'm going to use my house because it's easy to tell my business. It's mine. My daughter, my young mogul, who is now comfortably a 24-year-old adult, she started her company, a gourmet cupcake company, Nyla's Fat Thighs Cupcakes, at the age of 16. When Nyla got to college, she had already done a lot of successful things in her local community and, matter of fact, statewide with her brand. Excited about it. She decided to go to college and not tell nobody about it. She wanted to be a regular kid, which was cute, but that's what she was trying to do. She got there, she got into these classes. Some of them were suggested by a counselor. She hated a particular class, a bioscience something, and they told her she really needed it, and she found out she didn't need it for what she was trying to do. Long story short, she took the class, bombed it. Devastated, honor roll student, had never bombed a class, devastated. Took it again. Got bombed it the second time. Like, I hate this. I don't want to do it. I said, Nyla, you need to be able to go in there and talk to that counselor and tell her you're not taking that class a third time. She went into that office. She said, I told her, you need to start over. You know who you are. Introduce yourself. And that's what she did. She walked in with her argument. This is how she defended her position of what she wanted. She took a bag of cupcakes, sat on the teacher's desk, on the counselor's desk, and said, "Hello, I think I need to introduce myself to you again." She said, "Well, Nyla, we already know each other." She said, "I don't think you know who I am. My name is Nyla Davis. I am the owner and CEO of Nyla's Fat Thighs Cupcakes." Told her brand, where she came from, the pitch, y'all. She dropped the pitch and told her, "If you're unsure about changing my class to make sure that this satisfied what I need for my journey, just Google me," and sat back in her chair. The lady looked in the bag. She turned to the computer. She Googled her and said, "Nyla, what class do you want again?" Game over. Argument won. Why? Because she was cultivated in a way that said, listen, you have to be able to argue in a way that's respectful and responsible, but it puts you in position to get what you want and you can defend your argument. That's what we want them to be able to do so that we don't feel like they just running at the mouth. And now they're in trouble and we chastise them, but they may have had a good position that they were arguing and defending, all right? But their delivery may not have been good in their communication style. The last definition of the word argument is to express or exchange diverging or opposite views, typically in a heated or angry way. That's the one that we usually highlight as human beings. We have become naturally understanding that argue means it's one step from a fight. That is not true. It is bad behavior amongst society that we have solicited that measure for our kids, and also we have role played it. Parents, we are real people. We argue sometimes in front of our kids, even though it breaks our hearts and we don't always want to. Sometime in that heated moment, you might feel like, whatever, get out. And I'm talking to your daddy, not you. Been there, done that. Listen, I am not the one to show. Listen, I can't give you a palm tree when I got to show a field of them for myself. I have had my turn. But what I try to do and what I want to encourage you as I encourage myself is to make sure that we don't use heated opportunities to vent and be loud in front of our kids and give that as an example of love. Because if they see that more than they see the two positive ways to argue, then that's what they will solicit. That's what they will put in their lives. That's what they will consider as love and accept as considered normal, all right? This is a comfortable way that I think is so powerful. Sometimes when a conversation turns heated, an argument has emotion behind it, so now it's heated, you don't feel like stepping out and all of that, shelf it. I encourage you to say, you know what, I'll get back to this. That might tick the other person off. I already know if I leave the house, it's a little bit of fire at my house. So I try not to leave the house, but guess what? I reserve the right to leave the room. I don't have to argue right now. And sometimes I'm not the better person. Sometimes he's the better person. Sometimes he'll walk out like, not today, LaShawn. And I had to suck that up because I know that that's a defense to make sure that we don't get loud and heated for nothing. That's wasteful. That's just emotions. I can't heat you into making you see it my way. It's disrespectful. It doesn't honor even what my defense was, what I'm saying that I believe in or what I wanted to do or how I see the world. We have to make that choice. Absolutely, Tashanta. We have choices. But in our emotions, sometimes we don't choose the bigger. Most of the time, people assume that it's easier to take the high road. Baby, the high road is a different elevation. That altitude makes it hard to breathe. It's more difficult. But you have to fine-tune yourself to do it more often. And the more you model it, the more your children will honor it and do it as well. So that they don't get caught up into no silly catty stuff. Y'all know it's out there waiting for them. They want to take your mogul off their game by having them distracted with a heated argument. No, it's wasteful. This is not going to lead where you want to lead. Done. I don't have to have the last word. So what? Your word, it really ain't nothing. If I don't value it, it don't mean nothing. Let's go away. This is easy. So why do I care what you think? You don't have to argue. If I care what you think, I'm going to give myself a minute to be away from you in this heat and my own heat and calm down. So I encourage you to teach your children how to shelf it. We'll get back to this. Set a date. Someone that I hold very dear to me, my play brother, he told me, LaShawn, for an argument, why not set an appointment for it? Y'all know you have if you having a discrepancy with something, set an appointment. Let's talk about that on Wednesday. Now, if we take it off the table, it does not have to, if it's not life altering, it's not going to affect today, it can wait. You know why? That'll allow you to get your emotions out of it and not turn into what society calls an argument. We don't have to have the third definition of argument. We have 1 and 2. 2/3 of arguing is healthy. The last third is not. It is emotion inflicted and it is forcing someone to see it your way. And sometimes even when you're right and the other person opposing you may be wrong, it is not valuable to try to force it down their throat. Because if they had already taken the low road, they ain't trying to get on the high road with you. All right. So that's 3 different ways. Let me tell you another reason why the negative is so impactfully harmful for us. 1, when it comes down to babies in the womb and young babies up to 5 years old, we can scar them. Let me tell you what can happen when children are in environments that are always arguing with heat. That third way, emotions are high all the time. The children have a hard time with communicating. They have a hard time with expressing their voice. I don't know. They feel like their opinion doesn't matter because they think that it's going to turn into anger. Another thing that happens is it can affect their blood pressure, your blood pressure for sure. Our internal organs are stressed. Anxiety is created for young people and for old, as well as all the studies show that there is an attachment to anger, resentment, and high blood pressure and all of those things to the way we've been socialized. So there's historical reports that have been studied. We have studies. So now it's fact that they're showing we can hurt our body, our mind, our spirit, and internally our bodies by being angered and always uptight and fired up in an argument. That third definition of argument. So this is the scary truth about arguing. All right. The scary truth about arguing that it is good for you if you use it in the first 2 manners. If you use it to be able to teach them skills that will take them higher and greater and have stronger communication skills and have them inquiring about new things and allow them to teach them how to hear exchange of other people's opinions before they assume that there's no other way but their way. It can be positive. I am excited about being here with you all. I am taking my mogul jacket, y'all, my CEO jacket, and I am getting on an airplane and darling, and I'm so excited to be flying high with y'all and be doing amazing things. I encourage you to have a phenomenal weekend. I hope that this message is resonating with you in these scary times, darling, and do something positive. Sit down with your young mogul, with your young person, with your old mogul, your grown mogul, and have some positive arguments to lead you to success. And no matter what, at the end, you make sure that they know you love them and that they love you back, all right? Have a blessed day, y'all.